Good morning, everybody. I really don't have this video planned out very well, so this is just going to be me kind of rambling, so heads up, if you don't want to listen to that, it's probably not the video for you. My plans to revive my channel and everything, I feel like just got slapped. I still plan on trying, but I went to visit my mom last week. She's about 4 hours away from me, 5 by the time you add a stop or two in for gas, things like that. So I was on the way back, making this long 5-hour trip, very, very tired. In the last few minutes of the trip, I get a phone call. The phone call was from the realtor who is our go-between between us and our landlord. We rent a parsonage to a Methodist church. We don't go to this particular church or anything like that. It just happens to be the house that we chose when we moved up to this area in Northeast Ohio. It's a beautiful home. We love the home a lot. It's just been like the most perfect house for us ever. It feels like it was made for us. Obviously we know we can't stay here forever, just being a rental and the like, but if there was ever a house that felt like it was built for us, it's been this one. And I had planned on doing tours and stuff for you guys. Someone had asked for that, to tour my kitchen and things like that, and I was going to do that, but that just became irrelevant because in that phone call I was notified that the church needs the house back. They had a change of leadership, and the United Methodist from on high has decided that they're going to have a new pastor, and that new pastor does want this parsonage. So we were given notice that we have to be out May 31st. That was a little bit of a panic. Technically they could have just given us 30 days and told us May 1st. Per our lease, we were month to month now that we'd been here more than a year. But having to be out by that soon is a bit of a panic, most especially because not only do we have to pack and get everything done, which for us that's daunting, but we have to find a place, and we have no earthly idea what that place is going to be. So when I came back in Saturday night, and I called my husband before I got back home, I'm like, honey, I have some bad news. But, you know, we are relying on God to take care of us. It feels kind of scary. It feels overwhelming. It feels like we had just kind of gotten things settled down from some of the crazy before, from him getting laid off last August, and then he got the new job. He's been settling into that, and everything felt like it's settling down. Like, now you get a move. So anyway, the blessings are we have, you know, the funds to do it. It's going to be horribly expensive because we have to hire help. He and I cannot lift and move the furniture like we used to. Him especially, his back is pretty poor, so we have to hire help, and of course there's deposits and downs, and it's like, but praise God, we have a little bit of savings. We can handle it. There's been times in our lives we could have never handled an impromptu move like that, but thankfully we have enough to cover the needs. At the same time, one of our vans is acting up, and there's a couple things wrong with it, gremlins as I like to call, of an unknown thing kicking on an engine light. It's actually a particular sensor that's been a problem in the past, and replacing it doesn't solve the problem. But we'd also found out one of the noises, a whistling like whine that it's making, is the transmission. Yeah, that's bad. So that's a whole lot more. Yay. But we're trying to figure out what best to do with that, whether to keep it and invest in it, invest in having that stuff all taken care of, or to cut our losses and go with something else. We are cheapskates. We do not do car payments. We haven't for a long time. So what we usually do is try to save cash and then buy something that is used and then go with that. And of course, you know, it's not perfect. Sometimes, you know, you win some, you lose some with that. You have some that last you really a long time with very little maintenance, and others not so much. This one has been a vehicle we liked. It's a Honda Odyssey, but we like it a lot. But, you know, transmission's a big deal. That's thousands, so we'll see. I've got to get some quotes, and so far it's just making a noise that you know, we may just drive that until it dies and, you know, let it make its noise. It may last 2 days, it may last 2 years, we have no idea. But it's another point of prayer, and it's kind of stressful. And when the engine light came on top of it too, we were like, oh my goodness. So I had that in the shop yesterday, and the engine light decided to go back off. So who knows? Maybe the good Lord will let it stay off for a while we're, you know, trying to figure out this move. Part of the issue is the next week I have to go and make all kinds of appointments to view rentals for new possibilities, which is out of my comfort zone to kind of do that on my own too. That's not something I like to do by myself, but my husband, of course, has to work. The job is of primary importance, of course. It's our main and only income. So he still has to do that, and the good thing is most days he works from home now, so he can keep the kiddos here, and I can go kind of do some of that running a little more on my own and see if I can get appointments set up. That's something I have to do today, is set up a lot of appointments for, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Sunday's out because Sunday is holiday, of course. But we'll see. It's going to be crazy. And I'm just hoping my vehicle behaves itself and doesn't give us more trouble through the next couple months. Hopefully we can find something in the next week or two that we can settle on, apply for, get accepted in, and get deposits done and have a concrete date to do. I think we'll both feel more settled and a little less crazy once we have a place that we know we're going to go. Then it's just the mechanics of moving and doing what you got to do there, which isn't fun, but it's necessary. And we're going to get through it. We keep reminding ourselves that we're very blessed. While things feel overwhelming, in the grand scheme of things, it's all minor. It's just stuff that you have to go through, you know, little road bumps in life, so it'll be alright. But that certainly may affect my YouTube plans. I don't know. I'm going to try to sit down and still throw a video out if something lands on my heart, especially. Right now, the thing on my heart today is homemaking and homeschooling and everything else in between, how to get it all done. I'm not quite sure, especially since I have this week to go and look at properties. But one thing I went ahead and did yesterday, or actually no, it was Sunday, is I went ahead and made a order for the grocery store. Most of the time we like to shop with Aldi, but I went ahead and just did a Walmart pickup. We do those sometimes for some of our stuff, but I just went ahead and made it all Walmart. I'm like, you know what, I don't really have time to fuss with Aldi right now. Got a lot of extra things that I don't normally buy much of, like disposables. I'm like, now is the time to use these. I hate disposables because throwing it away is just wasteful, and to buy something to throw it away just irks me. That's my cheapskate side coming out though, but right now really is a good time for that. So we bought a lot of extra stuff like that, and markers and tape, and, you know, some tape for color coding the moving boxes. We're going to try that. The last time we moved, it felt like no one ever read anything was written on them, so we're going to see if color helps. But anyway, we've tried to prepare and get some stuff, try to make some allowances for things we might not normally do. One of my goals today is to sit down and look at our homeschooling. We're going to go to what I would call minimum viable days. In fact, this week we're taking completely off. Hubby said, that's it, no school this week, you're going to be way too busy. And he's right, especially with trying to go and look at places too. So what I'm going to do is my son, 11, now both of my kids are dyslexic, so it's kind of a curveball there, but he has gotten a lot more independent with his work, and he's able to handle worksheets and stuff here and there with some limited help. But I'm probably going to take a bunch of folders, maybe like 30 days worth, or maybe just the whole time frame, and then just lay out a few things in the folders of worksheets. And then my daughter, who's 7, she is still learning to read. She's doing a program called All About Reading. That is really, really hands-on for me to do with her, and she needs that. But what I'm really considering is having her brother help and do some of the lessons on these crazy days when I'm busy, because he's been through that too. And even though he's dyslexic in 11, he's now reading way above his age. That stuff has helped him a lot. His writing and spelling are a far other matter, but he's still working really, really hard on those, and it's a struggle because of the dyslexia. But the reading he has exploded on, and he can certainly sit down and help me out by giving his sister the reading flashcards and help her sound out words, things like that. So that's the sort of thing that we're going to be doing. We're going to try to organize our school out to have some kind of semblance of order. I don't want to completely not do things, even though technically we could probably do that and get by with it. But I think minimum viable days kind of help keep them in the mindset that school still needs to happen even during crazy times, and it helps them not lose progress. If we like, we normally don't take a summer break ever, because when we do, we tend to regress, and that's not something I want to do. So I want to make sure like she stays up with her reading, especially, and her math and her little sums and things like that. She really loves her sums, and I don't want her to forget all the facts she's learned, so I can lay some of those worksheets out, and some of those she can do on her own. We probably just won't cover a lot of new material. We'll make sure that the material that's already attained isn't forgotten, and probably the same for him. But I've also considered reactivating a couple online subscriptions like Nessie and things like that to help for the time. That way they can sit down and do computer school, some of that. It's not perfect, but we're going to figure it out, a way to do that minimum viable. Another homeschool mom told me minimum viable homeschool one day, and the term kind of stuck in my head, and I'm like, it's kind of a good idea, because it's that minimum you absolutely need to get done, that no matter how crazy things get, you got to get a few things done. And that's, sometimes you have to do that. And then other days you can sit and do a full-blown school where you cover everything that's on your schedule. Thankfully, there's certain things we do by video and stuff, and that's a helper too, because that can totally continue easily. The kids will, of course, be helping with things. They will have some extra chores and cleaning, packing in their own rooms, things like that I'll have them do. And I know I need to have them go through things to kind of see if there's things to donate, give away, because we don't want to move any more than necessary, and we have so much. It's daunting as it is. The size of this house was supposed to only be 1,900 square foot, but I think it's way bigger. I think they've added on to it or something that wasn't counted, but it holds a lot of stuff, and we have a tendency to fill it. So we have a lot of stuff to move and pack and figure out, fitting on trucks and all of that. Again, that's not easy. But we're going to figure out, we got to get moving quotes, all that fun stuff. And I'm thinking for the move out clean, I'm usually militant about getting my deposits back. So I try to make a point after we're completely moved out of a place to clean it really thoroughly. The last time we moved out of our apartment, we got most of our deposit back. A little bit was kept from, we used the wrong type of light bulb in the bathroom, and they changed that. But anyway, not a big deal. But we got most of that back, and I certainly aim to get most of it back here, because it was a really big deposit for this house. But that means a lot of cleaning, and it's a bigger place, so it's going to be a lot of cleaning. It's like moving the stove, cleaning the inside of the oven, cleaning under and behind the fridge, that kind of stuff. Not everybody expects that, but it's kind of chances I don't want to take. I want to try to make time somehow, some way to do that before we move out, because the more I can get done now, the less I'm doing, day one and day two after our move, because there's just not going to be a lot of time for that. I need to shampoo the carpets, all kinds of fun stuff. And it kind of was making me think this morning, and one of the reasons I decided to do this video, it's a good encouragement to always be on top of your homemaking. That way, when unexpected stuff like this happens, you don't feel as overwhelmed as I feel right now. That, oh my, there's so much to do. Had I been a little bit more on top of stuff, maybe it wouldn't need as deep of a clean as what I feel like it needs. Now, granted, the place doesn't look bad, and honestly, the carpets I could probably get by without shampooing them, but because they look pretty good. I don't let the kids eat over them. I always make them eat at the table because they always drop stuff, and that place can be swept where, you know, carpets are harder to keep clean. But I'm hoping that if we go ahead and give them a good shampoo anyway, wash all the walls and, you know, wipe down all the cabinets inside and out, all that kind of stuff, I'm hoping we won't have a problem with our deposit. We'll see. Hopefully there's no damage that happens when the movers come in. That's probably my biggest fear there, is because quite often they are rough. Last time they were really rough with stuff. We have a king-size mattress that needs to fit down the stairwell, and it's really a tight fit through there, and I'm hoping they don't break anything in the process, but all we can do is pray and wait and see. So lots to do, lots to think about, from homemaking to homeschooling. I've thought about pre-cooking some meals, taking 1 or 2 days and do a bunch of freezer cooking, as they call it, to pre-prep for the busy nights. When I ordered my grocery run the other day, I tried to order a few quickie type things that I might not normally stock as much of, but I wanted to make sure we have the ability for quick things because I don't want to have to eat out as much. We'll have to do that enough, and it's just expensive. So I'm thinking a day to do that would be good. Maybe 2 days, just depending on what I can do. And we're also trying to do it from what's in our freezer because we need to work that down. That way we're not moving with as much food stores, especially for fridge and freezer items. And we have a chest freezer out in the garage, so that's a lot of meat and stuff that's out there that if I do a pre-cooked day, I need to use that stuff to work it down, not add to it and make it bigger. We need to make it smaller and more usable so it uses up quicker. But I have to plan that out and think about what meals to do, what will be most efficient to maybe put like in those pans and, you know, foil pans and freeze those. I'm not really a fan of those, but they work for that purpose. So I'm kind of thinking that's what I may need to do with my menu plan, and I feel so scatterbrained and brain fuzzy that it's not funny. Normally I'm not too bad about that, but especially if I've been eating well, and for the most part I have. I ate yesterday something was kind of a case of eating some emotions, and I stopped myself and I did not let myself, you know, go crazy last night. Like in the past, if I ate one bad thing, I would just go nuts and be like, well, I already did it, I've already blown the day, but I did not do that. So it's important that I feel good through this process, and I need to watch my diet and keep my carbs low because that's how I feel my best, and I cannot let myself go out of control right now. I've got to be healthy and feel good. So anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say. One of the questions I have for you guys is I've been watching a few YouTube videos of an evening when I'm relaxing, you know, kind of about half collapsed, is on packing tips and moving tips, things like that. So if you have any great moving tips to share, I'd really appreciate them. Sometimes I think I've seen all of those videos and heard them all, but just as soon as I think that, I find some new ones that are really great, and I think, oh wow, that'll really help, let's do that too. So if you have any tips along that lines, or tips along the lines of homeschooling through a move and getting things done, finding rentals, any of that stuff, I would appreciate that. So hope you guys have a blessed day. Thanks. Bye.